there was just news today that India is going to have the their Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of India is now is a Harvard grad. I wanted to. It's very interesting to me, and in the world, in an era where we talk constantly about globalism receding, we this is an example or an evidence of the fact that globalism can only go forward. And I'm going to explain that briefly. So, on a very basic level, globalism became a thing with the first explorers from one continent to the next. The first time the world was spanned, globalism was started then. For us to be so audacious to think that any one authoritarian or even an authoritarian movement or a fascist movement or a nationalist movement is taking globalism back is saying that one step back after taking 1,000 steps forwards is somehow receding of globalism. It's just so from the basic physical movement of people, which is considered globalism on one spectrum, to the intellectual uh, transcendence in law. The justice, chief justice, the man who will be chief justice of India, and Mr. Chandrachud, I believe, he studied comparative constitutional law at Harvard. He got his Bachelor of Law degree in India and then went on to do his scholarly study of Master of Law and Doctor of Law at Harvard. And his thesis and his dissertation was comparative law, comparative constitutional law. And that means finding common ground between the ideologies that drive, in his case, the constitutional paradigm of India and the constitutional paradigm of the United States. And it's about as wise as jurisprudence gets and as broad as it gets ideologically in terms of globalism. It is transcendence of thought beyond boundaries. And it is, I welcome this, but I also wish that the world would see it and understand that ideologically we are globalized, especially the internet, the information age. We are globalized. There's nothing short of an absolute catastrophic global collapse of the electrical and internet grid that can stop globalism in any meaningful way. Trade, diplomatic relations, the extent of globalism is so far out that we are in the middle of the ocean of globalism thinking that we're going to find the land of, an island of nationalism. That's all anybody does find. An authoritarian regime is inevitably choked out in a world. It cannot sustain itself. An insular ideology cannot sustain itself. It hasn't been able to sustain itself for millennia. The concept of vassal states and protectorate states is not a new thing. Proxy wars is not a new thing. It's just dressed up in new tech, in new fashion. So I want you to keep that in mind as we walk through this valley of authoritarianism and fascism. That, we're globalized, we're connected. We have to capitalize on those connections. We have to monetize those connections. We have to unite. We have enough divisions. We know what these divisions are. People who exploit these divisions for power and money have been telling us what these divisions are for a long time. It is upon us to focus on our similarities and our unity and realize that our similarities and our unity it far outweighs our differences.